made. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
The University of Chisui, in partnership with Strathmore University Business School and funding from podcasts, conducted a 3-day training workshop for superiors of various Catholic learning religious congregations and nominating leaders in the dioceses at Nabinonya Resort Beach, Wakiso District. The training with facilitators from both Strathmore University Business School and the University of Chisui is part of the ongoing training programs which prepares new and existing leaders in the African Church to practice servant leadership and a culture of synodality. Brother Dr. Deogracius Mugema, the University of Chisui Vice Chancellor, together with Sister Mary Pauline Namudu, the NLGP Board Chair, gives us a brief insight on the significance of the training.
The next generation leadership program was targeting future leaders, the young leaders of tomorrow. But when we looked at how they go back and we have this collaboration between their superiors, the dioceses, and the institute leaders, we realized that there is a gap. The students learn something, but then the superiors, the leaders of institutes, are not informed what these scholars are getting from here. And yet we have to help them to work together, their leaders and themselves, so that they benefit more from these programs.
The University of Chisui was selected to host this program because of its values that merge or similar to those of Porticos to form and help future leaders of the church and of the country. Leaders of who have values at the center of the operation.
Participants were equipped with various skills in the 4 basic training areas of communication for leadership, human resource management skills, financial management, and personal leadership skills.
And one of the things I have cautioned them about, as superiors, they should not rush to sign when checks are presented to them. They should first scrutinize the vouchers and everything and see whether additions are well done. That it is very important to make budgets, but sometimes budgets are just put under the tables and they are not used, and then heads of institutions continue making expenses without referring to the budgets.
And I know the question is why, especially for the superiors. So one of the key things is that leadership starts from yourself. You cannot start leading other people if you cannot lead yourself. And so that is the beginning of leadership, before even you start thinking about how you can lead others.
Without financial management, you cannot really operate an institution. Every organization runs on the strength of having a good financial management program. Because you see, even if you have little money, if you can have good plans, if you know how to manage that money, you can be able to achieve a lot.
We're also thinking about effectiveness of the message, but also effectiveness of you as a communicator. If I want to move people emotionally from point 1 to point B, or I want to ask people to accept a message that I am presenting to them, I have to think to myself, what do I do as a communicator to help them? So I might consider my voice, I might consider my body language, I might consider my outlook, I might consider what words I'm going to use, what language I'm going to use so that it is appropriate.
Over a period of time, many of the superiors may not have had the exposure in some of the skills in HR, and that means that human beings want to be treated well, want to be appreciated and engaged, partly because you need organization.
This content has been, as we say, built with your feedback, with your participation. Please let us know where there's room for improvement so that each and every session as we move along will get better and better for you.
Feed into the kind of scenario or circumstances within which you're communicating. For example, if the message is industrious or about work, then your communication has to be serious. It has to come out as a serious communication. Like, you don't joke around. You have to use serious phrases such that people know what you're communicating is serious.
It's extremely integral and important that whoever works for your organization or your institution understands the reason for existence of your organization, understands the long-term vision and purpose and mission of your institution.
Some of the beneficial learners shared their experiences after undergoing the training.
The organizers of this training, it has been an eye-opener, because sometimes we just recommend, but we don't know the good things that result from this training.
Touched me in many ways. It has given me new ideas, new thoughts, especially about the financial management and also the functioning, how I can be a better leader and work in a very important ways in different activities.
I have felt so happy. It has energized me. It has reminded me of the importance of a communication. Sometimes we take it for granted that we communicate to people.
I do feel these skills are going to help me, especially communication skills are going to help me to be able to be an effective communicator, also be able to listen to my sisters, especially as they are being empowered by the university. When they come back, I am able to listen to them and also make sure that in my working environment, especially in school and also as a leader of the sisters, to be able to be an effective listener.
Because as a head of department for the education sector in the Diocese of Hoima, it gives me a lot of insights in the need for training.
It's going to help me improve on my communication skill as a counselor in charge of education in a congregation. I have seen different ways of communicating, and I've also seen where the gaps are.
Meanwhile, some participants gave recommendations on how such future trainings should be conducted.
This management package has been so nice for me, and also the other topics that have been handled, they have been very good. And I want to highly recommend that every superior, every bishop, if possible, instead of just a few people who are recommended to come for these scholarships, if they could just invite these people to come and train the priests and the religious, I think would be a step ahead.
More personals, more leaders would get this chance to come to make themselves free, to come and see how these workshops like this arranged may enrich them and enlighten them and make them more fit in their activities.
While I have received this training as a leader, I have discovered there is more need to train, especially at the grassroots levels, to train our head teachers, but even to train parish priests.
Since Work Without Play makes Jack a dull boy, the participants spared some intervals to refresh and relax during the training sessions. Each daily session was opened by Mass. Participants pledged to put the skills learned to good practice and enhance their pastoral work back home.
And we find that religious leaders are selected and they find themselves in office without the skills needed for the office. Very often, you realize some of them end up employing the trial and error method of leadership. Yet, modern leadership calls for using skills and the knowledge which has been tested over time.
When somebody has benefited from the same program, it is easier for them to know that this is very rich, This is going to enrich our institute and also to enrich our apostolates where these sisters work. That's why we have brought it. Is like a parent and a student, so that the parent knows what the student is learning.